for balance.
Back from Schway. Very important. Right. Yes, they would hear us back.
Do we by chance have a community director, community services director?
That would be me.
Right. So we have police chief, community service, and
Public Works.
Okay, remember,
Mayor and members of the City Council.
Oh.
And are we ready?
wait a minute.
There's-
all right, audience, we're ready. Serious issues.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would poverty, so.
Okay, Madam Mayor.
I would like to call the special meeting of the Lake Forest City Council to order. Madam Clerk, please note that all members of the special city council are present.
So noted.
The first item of business is public comment. Madam Clerk, have there been any requests to speak?
Yes, our first speaker is Dan Durkam, followed by Darcy Purvis.
Council members, my name is Dan Dorcom. I live in Lake Forest, and the thing I'd like you to consider is with the new sports park being built, Lake Forest is a very active community for horseback riding, bicyclists, walking, running, and there's no way to get to or from the sports park without crossing the busy streets, Marguerite or El Toro from the Serrano Creek Trail or the Aliso Creek Trail. So I'd like to have you consider having something going under the streets or a bridge or something so people wouldn't have to be concerned about getting hurt doing that. An example, Mr. Councilman, you live near that particular trail point, so you should know how dangerous that could be. Yes? No?
I don't know. Is it appropriate for me to respond directly?
Actually, it's not. You can't really engage in too much of a dialogue. If you wanted to ask that short, quick question, you could do that, but we don't really want to go back and forth with the members of the public.
Okay.
That's all I have then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Darcy Purvis, followed by Aaron Hawkinson.
Good evening, honorable council members. I appreciate your time. Today I'd like to talk about, my name is Darcy Purvis. I'm a resident of Lake Forest. Today I'd like to talk about the benefits of yoga, and I'm hoping that you will institute yoga classes in the schools. So yoga increases concentration, reduces stress and anxiety, so it'll lead to less fighting in the schools, increased test scores, and just a more happier student population. So I'm looking forward to hearing your response and hoping that you incorporate yoga into the classrooms for the students. Thank you.
Thank you.
Aaron Hawkinson.
My name is Erin Hoskinson, and I am a resident of Lake Forest. I would like you to consider building a bridge across the Serrano Creek that backs up between Forest Creek homes, and that would go over to the Serrano Park, so that the residents that live in Forest Creek can cross the creek safely without falling in on their way to walk to Rancho, which would eliminate a bunch of us driving and parking and other kinds of traffic. That's it.
Thank you. Council members, do you have any questions?
I would like to disclose that I live in Forest Creek, so I would be close to that issue. Maybe should stay away from it.
Okay. Do we want to refer that to Public Works for review?
I wouldn't.
because, no, as the council has, would you like to ask or take it under consideration, Public Works? Would you like to address that?
Madam Mayor and members of the City Council, which topic are we discussing?
The bridge over Serrano Creek
Oh, yes.
first,
So
the last.
my members of our Public Works has met to discuss this bridge, and we think that it's a great idea.
Would you like to,
Madam Mayor, point of order.
excuse me?
We've actually done a lot of work to study this, and we would suggest that you consider looking at this at a future agenda.
Thank you.
So do we need a motion to table at this point?
Consensus, I'd like consensus to put this on a future agenda, and it would only take two of you at that point to do that.
So we have to ask for that.
Make a motion.
I would like to make a motion at this point of time.
A second.
To reach consensus, I guess, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Next item, we were discussing the yoga situation, our request, I beg your pardon, your request for yoga to be in schools. That would be a matter of the school district. They determine what classroom curriculum. So that would not be a matter of the city of Lake Forest. It would be something you would need to take up with the school districts. Any further discussion?
I'd like discussion with Parks and Recs about this, for perhaps a discussion among Parks and Recs for a class in the park for yoga.
Madam Mayor, I'd like the Director of Community Services to comment on her extensive yoga study that she's done recently.
Thank you.
Yes, this yoga study has been very informative, and we are still looking into the matter. We're still finalizing our ideas and possible agenda to do such a activity in the park, as well as figuring out liability and whatnot, and the location for these classes. So that's where we stand.
I have a question. Would it be possible to coordinate an after-school program where yoga would be held on the school campuses?
Again, that would be dealing with the Saddleback Valley Unified School District, and we would have to work together on that matter. So once we decide, and once the school district has decided which way to go, then we can assist them further.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Then, at this point, consensus should be,
Does the council wish to direct staff or take additional action, or just let it?
I think we need to have a consensus.
I'd like a
having
motion.
our,
I'd like a motion to put it on the agenda for Parks and Recs.
okay, then we can do that.
I'll second.
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
One, duly noted, 1 nay and 4. Okay.
There was a third request of the council, if
Yes,
it's the council's
I was-
pleasure to discuss.
Okay. I have horses. I would have to note that that is something near and dear to my heart. So I would turn this one over to our Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay. Just a quick,
thing, from my understanding of reviewing the paperwork coming, that they actually are going to extend the trail coming up to the park. Is that correct? Community Services?
We are looking into the matter. The city manager can further answer
Yes,
the
thank
question.
you, Mayor Pro Tem and members of the council. We are looking at extending that trail, and our police chief has done extensive studies of the trail and would like to comment on the issues posed by extending that trail. So I will turn it over to the police chief.
Mayor and members of the City Council, we have researched this matter in depth, and we have decided to extend the trail, taking into consideration all the public safety elements.
Okay.
I have a question about just
Yes.
process here. The citizen came up and asked if something is going to happen. It's already in process. At that point, how does the council respond to that? I mean, it doesn't seem like there's any action really that needs to be taken.
Well, since the discussion has gone down regarding this project that's already been proposed and everything, the council can then, let the public know that this is already on the city's budget. It's in our CIP budget. It's already being planned. If you wanted to clarify where it was in the development process for the public, you can let them know that.
You could also ask staff to publicize it a little more, that oftentimes the council will direct a member of the city staff to talk directly to that resident to update them, but also ask the staff to put more publicity out regarding that decision, since obviously some members of the community weren't aware.
Okay, so that would go through Public Works probably, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Then I would direct Public Works to contact this particular individual for updates and review of progress within the park.
Madam Mayor, may I make a suggestion that we not only extend it just beyond this individual, but maybe see if we can get out to publication of some sort of information to better get the word out to the community that of the extent of our public trail network, as well as our work, including integration of all of our trail networks and our local walking paths into the new sports park.
I would agree.
I'd like further information from the staff at next council meeting.
I would. So then we would direct staff to come back at the next meeting with the additional news information through the leaflet, through website, through a variety of public service information on this.
Okay, so I have a question. Does the council ask for like demonstration of action like that? Where this is just...
Mayor and members of the City Council, we would be happy to come back at a future agenda. It would probably take us about a month, and come back with a public campaign that will outline all of the various areas where we would promote this information, along with some sample tweets, so you'd understand what message we're going to be sending out. We'd be happy to do that and would agendize that for the first meeting of December.
So at this point, this would close our public portion of the meeting. Colleagues? Any additional? So, no, do we? Because there are no motions on at this point. So this closes. Okay, very good. So this closes the public comment portion of the meeting.
You may be excused. No,
Okay, one by one, the council members can state their own opinions on the matter, not necessarily how they would vote, but what their thoughts are, and after each council person has spoken or opt to speak. Is there a motion on the floor?
Madam Mayor, I think that you addressed the issues that were brought before you.
Okay.
And we've noted the consensus and the direction, and the city manager will
Okay.
get those agendized at a future meeting.
Very good. Well, then that would conclude, and our meeting would be adjourned at,
Motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn, yes. And you have the time.
And you have the gavel.
And I have the gavel. And that adjourns the meeting.
So I have a